How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Apollo. As you may be able to see or recognise from my surroundings, I'm at Alton Towers. I'm here on working purposes, looking forward to the 2026 season ahead. But I thought I'd take this opportunity to have a talk about what is to be expected from Alton Towers in 2026, talk about the new offerings in terms of rides and attractions, opening times, events, and my general thoughts going into the season going ahead. So if you are going to enjoy this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and without further ado, let's get straight into the new season. So yes, we are here. We are literally, as of recording, a month away from the reopening of Alton Towers in 2026 for the brand new season. Now, 2025 would probably be a lot better of a year than some of the ones we've had in the past. Don't get me wrong, 2024 wasn't a bad addition with the likes of Nemesis Reborn returning to the park after its year absence retrack. However, it didn't necessarily come across in the best way. Scarefest felt a little bit tired, the reduction in events, and just overall general ride operations. Unfortunately, 2025 seemed to carry that on, although we did have the brilliant addition of Toxicator, which ultimately, however, resulted in 3 other rides being removed from the park. Toxicator was a great addition. However, the opening day, you can check our vlog from there, for the most part wasn't exactly what it lived up to be. General ride operations weren't great as well. Food offerings were a little bit disappointing. Like I said, once again, opening times were a bit shorter. We lost the event of Oktoberfest, and also it just never really felt like it clicked. But last year, in the grand scheme of things, compared to the other years, it did get better throughout the years went on, and it did overall become what I personally think was one of the better years for Alton Towers. Now we look towards 2026, and on the surface it does not appear like not only is it going to be anything remarkable or out of the ordinary for what we would expect, it just seems like it's going to be a fairly solid one, but hopefully with some internal changes as well. Now, obviously, in terms of additions wise, the biggest one to talk about this year, and probably the only addition that we're going to see, is the brand new roller coaster heading to see Beaver's Land, Bluey the Ride, Here Come the Grannies, I think it's called. It's the first theme park to have 3 rides dedicated to the name Granny. Yeah, sure, it's a fine, interesting addition. I mean, I would have personally, I don't know, some people have talked about this, it would have been interesting to see Postman Pat have a retheme to Bluey, but again, given the popularity, and also just to mention, you know, a new junior roller coaster gets more those younger ones into that experience of riding a roller coaster. Again, you can see the pros and cons. I think the biggest pro from what was discussed was the addition of Bluey in general. It's going to bring a lot of eyes to not only just the product itself, but to Alton Towers as well. So from that respect, it's a good idea. Obviously, a 1.2 metre height limit, which does kind of also mean that, you know, it can restrict your riders. And that's also bear in mind, not all kids enjoy roller coasters at that age. I know a lot of people would still be a little bit petrified of Octonauts roller coaster, so it will be interesting to see how that's handled. It's not got a confirmed opening date. It's still looking to be towards spring 2026, so I would probably anticipate earliest late of April or possibly early May, but we'll have to wait and see with that. Apart from that, though, there's no real other suggestion for any other attractions or possible features going in. Obviously, we all know that the planning application for Project Horizon does run out from this year, I believe in June. So unless some sort of groundwork is carried out on the operation, the planning application will be gone, and it will essentially kill any chance of any new thrill attraction being brought into Alton Towers. There was obviously the talks that, following the deal with the Toxicator, that Huss Rides would see 2 or 3 more flat rides coming into the park. However, there's been no further word on that. Yeah, just not really a lot seems to be going on. I know from having worked on it and also just general communication, the monorail, as you can see just over there for us, there is a lot of work that needs doing on it, and having spoken to some people today, it doesn't sound like it's in the best of states, but we will have to wait and see what happens there, whether the money does get spent on it, or, you know, whether something does come alight, who knows. Yeah, it's like I said, from a thrill seeker's perspective, it's very disappointing to not see once again anything being addition. I'm not saying it needs a roller coaster or a new ride. It needs something a bit more big and refreshing. Bear in mind, the last big roller coaster put in was 2018 with Wicker Man. Obviously, Nemesis Reborn had its retrack, but it's still the same ride in effect. Toxicator, for a great addition as it is, you know, it's not, again, we've lost 2 flat rides to make up for it, so it's not exactly blowing minds away there. It'd just be nice to see the park really come up with something a bit more fresh, a bit new. Again, whether that is more flat rides, I think that should probably be the priority going ahead for the next few years, or at least some sort of work carrying on Project Horizon. We don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. I think really what we are probably going to expect, though, and hopefully expect, is some better operations, see just a better utilisation of running the park when the rides do get busy, or those stress times in like the summer holidays and Scarefest. See some better operations there, and just a general whole start to reprocess. Bear in mind, there's a new vice president, Howard Emerson from Chessington. There's been some internal management changes from Merlin Entertainments. So I do believe that we will hopefully see some general changes towards operations. But like I said, the only real addition this year will be the possibility of Blue the Ride coming out very soon. Now, from what I have been told and from what has been overheard, bear in mind this is all just speculation at the moment and there's only so much I can reveal. There is discussion for a possible summer event coming back. Who knows what it's going to be? We don't know. All we've just been told is that there is the possibility, to be confirmed, of a new summer event. Keep your eyes open for that. It could be something similar to what Blackpool Pleasure Beach do in late night riding on those summer evenings, which I think would really work with the warm weather and just general vibe of the park. That would get some people in as well. And also, like I said, those later hours would be very suitable. Obviously, event-wise, all we have so far as of recording on February the 2nd, which is a Monday, we've got coming up is the half-term Pirate Takeover event. Once again, a very popular event if you want to come down and experience a little bit of Alton Towers before it gets open to the main public. Obviously, apart from that, there's no general holidays. Like I said, there's the possibility of a summer event, but nothing's been confirmed yet. Scarefest running once again, and then we've got the fireworks event running from the 6th to the 8th of November. Opening hours-wise, there's nothing massively spectacular. There's no 7 p.m. ride close as of current. For the first few weeks, we do have Alton After Dark, so it will be the 14th to 15th of March, the following weekend after that, the following weekend after that, and then we just go back straight into the season with the 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. ride closes there. So at least that event gets to carry on. I know obviously since Bianca Summit's departure from Merlin and Alton Towers, it was in question whether we'd see that back, so it's nice to see that return. But for the most part, all the way until June, apart from the odd week here and there, it's mostly 4 and 5 o'clock ride closes. We then move into 6 o'clock ride close for those 6 week summer holidays, and then it's 4 o'clock ride close once again before we go into Scarefest with the 9 o'clock ride closes. From an operational hours point of view, again, I can understand the disappointment with 4 o'clock. I know the park's not going to be busy, but I would imagine at some point, at minimum, a 5 o'clock ride close should be the norm. Bear in mind, turnstiles open from 9 o'clock. The monorail's open from 9 as well. It's just one of those things that I think would personally benefit from opening and closing at 5 p.m. rather than seeing it close at 4 p.m. 6 p.m. ride close in the summer, that's fair enough. Again, I would have thought that'd be a 7 o'clock towards the end, but who knows with there. And then, like I said, the only real major time difference we'd see would be Alton Towers' Scarefest with a 9 p.m. ride close there. So it's something to take in mind. Also the same with fireworks, but given that's over 3 nights of the year, who knows? Not a massive... I don't know, it feels deflating, doesn't it? It feels a little bit deflating to come into this season and think there's nothing really massive. I know you can't always have the money, we can't always have like what we get in Fort Park or what Chessington are doing, or what Blackpool or Pleasure Beach are doing, even though they're kind of doing what Alton Towers did last year. It's a great park. It's still the UK's biggest theme park. It's probably the most recognisable theme park you'll find, not just in the UK, but across the world. And it just feels a little bit deflating to me personally to see that the newest attraction will be a CBeebies Land attraction. Don't get me wrong, it does really well and it's probably one of the best money points for Alton Towers, but I just think it's somewhere that really needs to be capitalising on across the theme park. Bear in mind, you know, there were talks of a Galactica re-theme. You go around the park, there's general bits that are clearly showing signs of age. We know Oblivion's coming up to near 30 years of operation and could need a retrack at some point. A lot of these rides will probably be coming up to a retrack in their lifetime. It's very interesting to see what's going to happen, but ultimately, I'd like to think with this season, like I said, we're going to see some operational changes. Hopefully our food options are a lot better as well. Like I said, keep your eye out for the summer in case that event does occur. But overall, I just think this is a part of a rebuilding packaging for Merlin, re-understanding what makes the core values of a theme park and how to run your attractions. And I think we're going to see that over years in time. Like I say, it's not going to be instant. It definitely won't be something that we'll see over time. Like we've mentioned, the David Walliams world, I think that's something to mention as well. From what we've also been told, that is still staying in place. Obviously, we all know about the speculation with David Walliams and what's been happening there. So it's interesting to know what could potentially become of the future. But as we were told, there is a contract that still needs to be met with Alton Towers. So ultimately, that's still going to be carried out. We also know that and again, this is take it from the words of one of the management that we have been told, until any further information is provided out, for now the IP will still remain and that world will remain unchanged. So again, we'll have to wait and see. But I just think it's going to take some years to get it back to where it was. Whether Alton Towers is going to have that time, bear in mind 2031, the opening of Universal Bedfordshire, who knows. But like I said, I think this year, let's have some operational changes, build some internal points, and let's go again for the 26th season, and hopefully we'll see a good one there. So with that in mind, I hope you have enjoyed this video, guys. Like I said, I'd like to talk a bit positively about Alton Towers, but for me personally, it just feels a little bit of a Debbie Downer, like I said, with the CBeebies ride. Hopefully we'll also see some single riders. I know that was something that was discussed about internally last year, so who knows, Nemesis or Wickerman, I should say. Hopefully we'll get a single rider there. I'd prefer Nemesis to have one, just because there's a lot more empty seats that end up flying around on that than Wickerman. So we'll have to wait and see there. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you would, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If there are any further updates, we will provide it with you. But until then, thank you for watching, and we'll see you for the next video.